Hey guys, today I'm going to be making a video about how you can sell better on eBay by taking better photos, packaging things correctly, and getting them shipped out quickly, as well as adding descriptions that will help people feel more comfortable buying from you. So what we're going to start with is the photo aspect. It's the most straightforward and it's the one that matters the most, quite frankly. There are millions of objects being sold on eBay at all times, so the ones with better photos will get more views and it makes you look like a more legitimate seller. Today we're going to be selling a CGC 9.5 Crocodile, and I'm going to show you sort of how to take the photo, but also I want you to notice sort of the setup we have going on here. It's very simple, nothing crazy. I just went out, bought a card stand and a game mat. Now, just this little addition will set you apart because so many people take photos on eBay and they look sketchy. They're kind of maybe holding it off to an angle, or even worse, something like that. It's not as good a look if we're going to sell with no seller rating, or if you're just joining eBay. You need to make sure your pictures look good and are well lit. So while the lighting's pretty decent, I actually am going to even blast this with another light. This one is from Flashpoint. The brand doesn't really matter as much, it's the light that you need. I'm just sort of showing this for scale to see how big it is. So what I'm going to do as I get ready is I'm going to sort of play with the light a little bit until there we go. See, now that looks great. We have the mat sort of falls into the background. The crocodile is clearly the focus of the photo. So when I take this picture for eBay, this is the focus. This is sort of a nice soft background, but this is definitely what the buyer is going to look at, and it pops. Now, when you're actually taking the photos, you're going to want one photo of the whole slab from the front, which gets the grade, the company, the name of the card, and the card itself. And then one on the back like that, showing the back of the card. You got your barcode, your cert number, and your stamp from whatever grading company your slab comes from. Now, the back photo is important. I hate when people post on eBay and do not show the back of the slab. It tells me there's either something wrong with it, or they know they got a grade they shouldn't because there's a ding on the corner, even though the card got a 10, and they don't want to show it because they're afraid that it will lower their sell price. It is always better, everybody, note this right now, it is always better to be transparent with your photos than to try and hide something, because guess what? Whoever wins this is going to get it in the mail and they will find out one way or another. They would much rather you tell them ahead of time. It's better to take an L on one item and be honest and be able to sell a bunch more than lie about one item, get the price that you want, but then have a difficulty selling anything else afterwards. So that's always important. Make sure your photos capture anything and everything that could be wrong, even if it is a graded card. If there's a giant gash on the slab, make sure you're showing that in your photos. Now, the benefit with the slab, you don't have to show as much of the card because CGC has already done that for you. It's a Gem Mint 9.5 grade, and most people have an idea of what they expect from this grading company with that grade. So just the front and the back is good enough for a graded card. But next, I'll show you how you should be photographing and describing a raw card, a single, which is the Sam Sinclair from MetaZoo. Alright, so now we move on to the trickier bit of selling on eBay, and that is selling raw cards. Now, it's tricky because you want to keep it in the sleeve, but you also need to get photos of what it looks like out of it. Otherwise, people will think that you are trying to hide a scratch. So we get our light on. There we go. So it's tricky, right? Because you don't want to glare too much, but at the same time, it does show off that beautiful hollow pattern. With cards like this, the way that I like to start is straight at the camera like that, getting the full card in the front, then the card in the back, obviously making sure that is well lit, and then you want to show this. You want to go corner, 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 corner. So that way you're showing any chance of whitening in each quadrant of the card. So you're showing that quadrant, that quadrant, that quadrant, that quadrant. So you have your front, your back, quadrant, 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 and then anything on the front. Because this is a holofoil card, for my last couple photos, I would probably show the foil at different angles under the light so that way whoever is trying to buy this can feel more comfortable that there are not hollow scratches. So being very transparent, taking that many photos and showing that you really have nothing to hide with your card is going to go a long way in terms of promoting confidence in the buyer that you're selling something that is worth buying, and that when you say this is near mint, it really actually is. Now, for example, let's say I was selling this card, and let's say, for the sake of argument, I'm just gonna mark it up right now with my fingernail. Now, I could hide it. I could hide that mark I just made by photographing it like that, and like that, then taking those photos that I just said, right? The corner, 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 and the buyer would never know that that mark is there. However, it is important, if you're going to be selling this card, those scratches need to be front and center. Honestly, if it's that bad too, you want to mention that in the title of the card. Yes, may mean it's harder to sell, but the last thing you want to do is sell someone something that has these marks on it when this is the photo that you showed them.